through. Just tell me I can do this too. For everything we fight to never lose. 'Cause everything we want, oh, is everything we need. Just like I need you, oh, it's just like you need me. Promise me a rendezvous. Just tell me I can stand the truth. For everything we hope to never lose. 'Cause everything we want, oh, is everything we need. Just like I need you, oh, it's just like you need me. You gonna do? And I can't stop thinking about you, but what you gonna do? And you know I'm feeling good like that, so what you gonna do? And I can't stop thinking about you, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Mini RPG of the Week. Delighted to be here. Delighted to be joined by 16th Tower, aka Dylan, who
here I am.
Was watching Evangelion up until about 20 seconds ago by playing it behind himself on camera. Dylan, care to comment on revealing your power level so explicitly?
I would say, Alex, you were more watching it. It was behind me, so I didn't really know what was going on. I was relying on you to tell me.
That's fair. And honestly, just a truly awful. Getting that experience of someone standing up to get a drink while you're watching something on TV, except permanently. Just truly awful. Either way. Yeah, there you go. No more comments on that.
My NVIDIA was acting up.
We are getting ready to head into week 21 of season 3 here. We're nearly at the end, 25 weeks to a season of Mini RPG of the Week. Dylan, you started casting. I mean, your first time basically seeing Trackmania properly was week 1 of season 3, I think.
It's been interesting to sort of be like the main character of season 3 and have the main arc of the season be sort of watching me become more familiar with the game. I really enjoyed that. As the person experiencing it. So if the viewers enjoy it too, that's great for them. But if they don't, whatever. There's always season 4.
Yeah, and I mean, implying that I'm going to let you out of it in season 4. I think you're trapped here now a little bit. We're going to have a bit of a treat tonight. Raceland is tonight's mapper and has promised us a map that is built, obviously, in TM 2020, but very much in the TM2 RPG style. Genuinely, Dylan, I'm kind of interested to see what you make of this map then. I don't know if you've actually kind of seen more traditional TM2 style RPGs and mini RPGs.
It could definitely be interesting, because I definitely feel like kind of with a lot of the maps that I've seen, whether it's like an episode I put on or one I've been casting, it is kind of more of this like modern style of map building that we've been seeing. So going for like one of these older styles could be interesting. Looking at kind of the notes that Raceland provided us, I'm excited to see this map as well. Because one thing that I always say whenever I'm on Mini RPG of the Week is that I love stuff that will tilt the players and make them salty. And Raceland has given some hints that there might be some elements like that in tonight's map tonight. So I'm hoping to see that.
I think you'd have to go all the way back to like week 3 or maybe 4 or something like that of Mini RPG of the Week, when there was an element that was very similar to something that has been described to us here.
Okay.
And I will not give any more detail than that, other than say, if I've gotten that week right, if you know, you know. But yeah, I'm interested to see if you can kind of pick out elements or a style, part of the mapping style that, you know, feels very different to you. Obviously, I have preformed notions of what he means when he says kind of TM2 style mapping, but I'm deliberately kind of leaving you in the dark here a little bit and not telling you anything about what that means to me, because I just think it'll be more fun to see you discover as we go along. And as we do crest the hour mark, we should be getting onto this map very shortly. Players in, warming up on the server as we go, and we will be moving on to this map very shortly.
Great.
You're right. It is great. It's going to be very fun. Yeah. Obviously, Raceland has been having some very solid weeks so far. Or I shouldn't say so far. I mean recently on Mini RPG of the Week. And I believe I have seen his name in the server here tonight as well, which potentially means could be a pretty good week for Raceland, who will be joining us on this one.
I mean, if nothing else, that's a great strategy to get a Mini RPG of the Week win under your belt, is to just make a really salt-inducing level and then play in it and come first.
Yeah, it's genius. It just makes an awful lot of sense.
Not that I would ever suggest Raceland would do it.
No, of course not. And we'll see. Sometimes mappers feel that they shouldn't try as hard when it's their own map. They do, you know, kind of bow out deliberately in the first couple of rounds. I'll be honest, I don't think that's going to happen tonight. But we will see how it goes, as we see a bit of Irish thrown into the chat as well. I see Babs is getting ready to cook this evening as well. So a couple of Irish players joining. Let's jump on board with Artis to run through a little bit of Discovery.
Yeah, so I'm noticing we've got a lot of sort of Sakura cherry blossoms in this level. Is that the TM2 house style that I should be looking out for, Alex?
Honestly, no. That's just, I think, Raceland maybe being as big a weeb as you are.
Okay. Could could we cut to Raceland's POV? I want to know if there's any anime playing in the background. Maybe we can spot something like that.
It's always a possibility, but unfortunately, no. No, I'm not going to. I'm staying on board with Artiste for the moment. Now, I do want to
We're not
highlight...
going to risk any anime.
No, not at all. It'd be very dangerous. There was a specific element that you were kind of looking forward to, which is these roof hits that I think we're now seeing a couple of times, potentially, if Artiste is on the right track as well. And they're definitely... It's looking more consistent than I think we were maybe worried about. That doesn't look consistent. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh, that's going to be rage inducing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, it's over.
Show it to me again, Artiste. Show it to me again.
I mean, how am I even going to keep the camera through there? How is that meant to be driven? I tell you what, it's time for me to go out of spectator mode and go on a little bit of, oh, here we go, yeah. This is the GPS for this one. So Raceland gonna show us the way around this track. There is one first roof here I was looking at, I was like, yeah, that's probably gonna be consistent.
That's manageable,
Yeah. That looks totally fine. And then from there, kind of just cruising through, it's very transitional, right? There's a lot of slightly awkward transitions. Again, to me, I think that's a little bit of what the kind of more classic, just to give it away a little bit, the kind of more classic TM2 style is obviously lower acceleration penalties in TM2 versus in TM 2020, which meant that RPGs were a lot more focused on kind of narrow landings, maybe some wall bangs, maybe hitting things a little bit, and it's been, oh dear.
Oh,
that
we've
bit
actually got a tooltip there at the bottom.
Is, yeah, that's the kind of thing that you see.
All you need to do is
on
angle
those.
your car at a perfect 45-degree angle. I think that's the one that the players will pretty quickly pick up on.
Honestly, I'm interested to see how it goes. That element in particular, that's feeling very TM2 to me. Kind of just one element where you need a quick double jump, as Raceland describes it, one good landing, or else you are gone, and you'll have to reset on that one. And then through, I'll be honest, I like that map from just the drive-through that we've seen there.
Yeah, it's got kind of that one tricky section around the sort of middle of the map. The rest of it kind of is going to that more classic kind of transitional thing you were talking about. None of it looks too difficult, so I feel like this was kind of one of the things Rayson was talking about going for in the design of the map, where he kind of said he was focusing on making a map that wasn't too difficult, because if it was a map that could be picked up quickly, that could lead to kind of more interesting round-by-round play in the mini RPG of the week format, where player skill starts to matter more and more, as kind of everyone is sort of got a grip on what the map is asking them to do. So it's just who can do it more efficiently, who can kind of get lucky maybe on certain aspects. Kind of definitely maybe the entry to this middle section we're coming up to here. We'll see how Heave handles it now.
Heave chooses simply not to engage.
It's a bold strategy. It's probably going to get you through a lot of rounds tonight, but definitely for our final rounds, I think Heave, you might want to get some practice in, buddy.
Yeah, I think we're going to see it from a couple of players who make it to the top 10, just not engaging with the wall bang into roof hit at all on that one, because it's a big time loss, sure, but flipping the car and not recovering is going to be a larger time loss, you know? So consistency over pure pace. Obviously, world record strats are going to need to use that wall bang into the roof hit, the weird side flip. Call it a barrel roll, call it whatever you want. That's going to be necessary if you're looking to set a world record, but you really don't need world record times in order to do well in a week of mini RPG of the week. Just in this couple of the day style knockout, consistency is king, just guaranteeing that you're making it through the rest of the map, because there are still some tricky jumps to optimize throughout the rest of the map as well, is going to end up being very important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, kind of some of these trickier jumps, mostly towards the end. I think kind of the map up until kind of that little spike in difficulty in the middle, not too bad. This jump here, you can kind of see where it could go wrong.
Like if you want the speed to dodge this engine off, you really do need to nail the precision and hit the triangle on the checkpoint. And that it is a difficult, like, it's a precision check, right? It is making sure that you can actually hit it, and if you don't, the punishment doesn't necessarily seem big, being half a second, maybe a few tenths slower going through the checkpoint, but it's the speed loss as you go around the outside that Heave has kind of shown a couple of times there. It makes it much harder to hit the follow-up, so the actual time loss probably ends up being a couple of seconds there if you miss the precision.
Yeah, just in like, not like sort of direct, but in like long-term time loss from that kind of miss there. Because it's sort of, with the way the map is structured, kind of sort of follows you throughout a lot of it if you kind of don't have exactly the right angle going in for that engine off to dodge it properly.
Yeah, absolutely. As I try desperately to get on board with Yannick's here, and I will manage it, who is just finishing that checkpoint. It means we're on board just in time for a full run through. Taking a quick look at the times up until this point, Brinken Sidzer, someone whose name is absolutely in Japanese, and therefore I can't have a go. But as far as I can remember, their name actually shows up differently over their car. I believe we had whoever that is a few weeks ago. I don't remember what it is, but if it shows up at some point, I think maybe I'll recognize it.
That's that. Who was that player who kept changing their name? And every week I would be like, oh, we've got this player. They're doing well for a name I haven't seen before.
No, I don't think it is Bilingo. Good old Lingo.
Bilingo, yes.
Yeah. See, I say Lingo, but I did notice that Lingo has signed up as Bilingo to XP Evo, but that may just be a function of that was his name at the time he signed up versus that's what he is actually fully going by now. I'm even more thrown off. I thought I had a handle on the fact that sure, there's name changes, but it's still
I do
just
not
Lingo.
think Lingo is using a consistent username. I don't think a consistent one is being used.
No. Ooh, Yannick's that
So
little...
even kind of with Yannick's here, Yannick's would be kind of one of our consistent top players in Mini RPG of the Week. About halfway through our warm-up time, still sort of struggling with this little ceiling bang here.
It's that
getting better,
gutter
definitely.
to the left. That gutter to the left is so brutal for it as well, because if you don't nail it, you don't even really have the chance to like kind of reset yourself off the wall. There, if there was a solid wall there, you could hope that you get wheels on it and you can get the car going again. That gutter is there just to prevent that, just to make sure that you perform the trick as intended, and it's a very difficult trick to perform as intended.
It's nasty in a way I like to see. So thank you, Raceland.
And hey, congratulations to Jaxie for finding civilization again on their walk home. They've made it out of the forest and still won't be here in time for Mini RPG of the Week, but you love to hear about people not being lost in the woods.
That moment will still make my Jaxie Mini RPG of the Week Season 3 highlights compilation, so no worries.
Jaxie lost in the woods and not able to participate in Mini RPG of the Week. You love to see it.
I'm noticing as well.
Players.
I don't know. I haven't been on Mini RPG of the Week for a couple of weeks, but we've already got a full server. We got 100 players in already. Is that have we been just like doing well the past couple of weeks, or is this a big map night?
I don't know. This is a pretty big night. I feel like it's been a little while since we hit the full 100 players. I'd have to go and double check player counts on Wikipedia or something. But no, that's big. It's generally weeks where we have Yannick's in tend to be a little bit higher because there's some of his viewers who do want to swing along and try and compete against them. But that's
and I think Yannick's being here this week and me being here, I'm bringing a lot of my fans in as well, so that's really driving our numbers up.
I forgot to account for your fans as well, Dylan. You're so right.
Yeah.
It may also, I wonder if there's an element as well where, for some previous weeks, I think obviously Ascension qualifiers and things were still going on, but I'm not sure how, we weren't really missing top players at the time or anything like that. I'm just kind of wondering, is there players who, Worker's here, for example, so there you go. There's someone who probably was focusing a bit more on maps like Ascension. Scandir as well has returned to the server. It's going to be a banger week. Hang on a second. There are some very good players sitting in the server right now. I have to pull up my... Where's the winner document? Frame rate's going to get choppy for a second as I pull up the winner document because Worker, obviously, Worker, TMCL player, incredible. Scandir, one of the best kind of mini RPG players out there. I believe won Frontiers competition back when they ran that thing. Does have... Surely Scandir has a couple of wins here. No? Has Scandir never won Mini RPG of the Week? That's wild to me. That
might just be down to not participating that much, maybe. Certainly
Yeah.
across like season 3, I think I've never seen Scandia play.
Yeah. No, it makes sense, but no, Scandia are a very good player, as you can tell. Currently sitting with the best time on the server by about a second and a half. Hazard in here this evening as well. I haven't seen Ice yet, but you know, maybe sitting around there somewhere.
Maybe Ice can't get in.
Maybe
Server's
Ice
full.
can't get in. Unironically, a possibility. As well, no, we're sitting at 99 out of 100 players right now. So you know what? There's one
Ice, it's
spot
your
up for
time,
grabs.
quick.
You gotta go for it. You gotta go for it right now. There's a lot of players here tonight. As I say, a lot of past winners sitting here at the moment. Currently, the document that I have, because I haven't asked for the updated one from Zeta Rate in a little while, only goes up to week 18 of season 3. I am missing week 19 and 20. Dylan, who won in week 19 and 20?
Portugal. It was a close match, but they cinched it out in the end.
It's well, if we're talking rugby, unfortunately, it's just not true. But I know Marius won one of them, which I believe ticked him up to a tie with Yannick's and Ice on the all-time leaderboard, and was Marius's first win of season 3 as well. But I haven't seen Marius in here yet tonight, I don't think. But again, 99 players in the server could be hiding out somewhere in here for sure.
All I'll say is, if you're in the server and you're not Ice or Marius, leave right now. Okay. Me and Alex we've crafted this narrative that this is going to be sort of an all-stars episode of Mini RPG of the Week, and if you're getting in the way of that, there will be repercussions.
Well, okay, maybe a little bit harsh, but you know what? Sure, we'll run with it. There definitely are plenty of winners. Like looking at the leaderboard there, I'm shocked to realize that Scandir hasn't won one. Again, just such a strong player, and I feel like has participated in a few mini RPG of the weeks, but yeah, has never won a mini RPG of the week. Artis has. Did Artis win the other one that Marius didn't win? Either way, I know Artis has done. Artis has won 2 in season 3 anyway.
I've seen some Artis wins.
I don't believe has won.
Liker.
Worker.
I barely know her.
So Worker is an interesting one because
Worker?
I
barely know her.
Okay. I don't believe those were actually very Liker and Worker are excellent for that joke. Worker has not won an individual week for Mini RPG of the Week, but I believe did win one of the finales. It may have been season 1, it may have been season 2, and I'm going to pull up Wikipedia to check because that one is interesting to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
that's a good enough reason as any to check.
Yeah.
We're kind of on deck with one of our Irish competitors right now. We got IT Split, It Split, whatever, however you say it. It Split, rep in Ireland.
No, Worker came second in season 2, and it was Heave, who is also in the server tonight, who won the season 2 finale. I'm telling you, there's a lot of really good mini RPG players here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be fun, and what a map for it to happen on as well. As we've noted, there's a lot of tricks that could make a difference here. It's a lot of transitional one, that double jump down into the donut, very reminiscent of one of the Trackmania Grand League identities we had a year or two ago. I can't remember what that map was called. It was probably just called something like Donuts or something like that, with a similar kind of trick repeated a few times where you transitioned your way through a few rings with the double jumps. But equally, I think our eyes have to be on the backflip, wall hit, whatever you want to. It's not even a backflip, it's kind of a barrel roll in the middle of the track. And the fact that there is a safe way, I'm so interested in how the top players in particular decide to approach that, because there is no doubt in my mind that some of them will be just going for the easy route all the way until the end.
I mean, we already saw it kind of, I don't know, I mean, obviously this was in sort of the early days of this practice period that we're in now, but Heave was one of those top players you kind of highlighted there. Heave was sticking to the safe route, so
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some of our top players stick to it when we've got kind of such a sort of finicky technical segment as the one we're rocking right now.
Yeah, I want to try and fight. There's Heave, but no, he's gone. There he's again. I can. Oh, nope. It was close. Oh,
almost had it.
Oh, no, it still sits there. Heave, where have you gone?
He does not want you watching.
Score. Nadeo, please. There we go. All right. Near the start of the run as well. Oh, we only have 30 seconds left.
Oh.
All right. Colin.
You have 25 seconds to get to it.
I don't think that's enough time. I think it's in the back half of the map. One last look at the current time. Scandir, honestly, no surprise at all. Currently sitting
Scandir,
with
I barely
the best
know her.
time in the lobby. I'm gonna lose my mind. It's over.
It sort of works.
We'll see if we can end up with a golden Scandirs by the end. That's a song. Did you get it? Golden Scans?
Yeah.
We'll see if we can end up with a golden
Okay, well,
Scandirs.
if you're gonna lose your mind at my barely know her jokes, and then
We'll
you're gonna come out
see
with that shit,
if we
okay.
can end up with a golden Scandirs at the end
We're
of
watching
the night.
Heave right now. We'll see if we can get a Heave Ho by the end of the night. It doesn't make
Dylan.
sense, Alex. You're just saying shit.
Dylan, 99 players in the server. How many eliminations are we getting in round 1 when we get eliminations?
96. Go big, baby.
Go big or go home, and nearly 96% of the players will go home. That's the prediction, is it?
Yeah,
All right, huge.
that's my prediction. Yeah, I'm tired this week.
I'll
so
tell you, it's a stupid
I don't want to do
one.
any real
It's real
math.
dumb. What an awful prediction, Dylan. Oh, Heave's going for it. Heave has glitched through the floor. Now what's happened there?
Now, if it works,
Now, I feel like that was lag, and I've been trolled, and he just did nail it. And because of the speed that he came out of it with, I'm inclined to say Heave did just nail that, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's looking like a good
or
run
the
from
glitch
Heave.
has just kind of let Heave run away with this one. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see what the final time ends up being. That final jump as well is really interesting. 105.744 from Heave. Hang on. That's Heave was the Japanese name.
Heave,
Heave? What's going on here?
Heave, you been watching anime?
Am I just... Is my language set to Japanese somehow? What's going on? Jaxie has predicted
Your language
13.
is set to Japanese just for Heave.
Just for Heave. Jaxie's predicted 13 KOs. I'll tell you, with 100 players, server maximum, in the server going into round 1, I'll call it. I'm going to give it the full 22. 22 players eliminated in round 1, Dylan.
22, that's insane.
It's not.
Okay, Dragon GT in the in-game chat though calls for 64. We're starting to see some good numbers right now. Okay?
That's pretty high. that's maybe a little bit high. I'll say it. How you, Dylan? Give me an actual answer. You said 96. I refuse to accept that.
95. I'll go one lower.
And you know what? Maybe you'll be closer.
Well,
than I
Alex,
will.
it seems 8 players will be eliminated, so I'll go with what the game predicts. I'm going to go for a nice conservative 8.
A nice conservative 8 players. We'll see if you end up there. I think the
computer
server
would
is.
never lie.
I think it's actually just the server lagging because there are 100
I think
players
it's struggling
in it right
under
now.
the strain of 100 players.
It
Yeah.
sure seems to be. We'll have to eliminate a few of them, and luckily this is our first round of eliminations in Season 3, Week 21. 100 players begin, at least 8 will be eliminated, and, well, there's one French car sitting dead on the track, so that's probably at least one French car eliminated, and there's a lot of French cars out there. Cryptors is cruising through the field at the moment. This is Pierre Quiroul, who was sitting dead on the track a second ago and is no longer dead on the track and is going through some S-bends very cleanly and has overtaken Zenlane. Dylan, what's that flag?
Zenlane, that's the flag of... I don't know. I don't want to come across as offensive with my lack of flag knowledge.
Yep.
Could
That's
be anywhere.
entirely
I'm
fair.
sure it's a great place.
I'm sure it's lovely, and we'll be going for the safe route into this one. Currently sitting in 95th, we'll need to gain a couple of places. You'd imagine a couple of players will have failed that risky route. Zenlane is kind of failing the safe route now, but it's enough for 78th. Overtook nearly 20 players between those checkpoints.
Yeah, it is, if nothing else, enough to get through to our next round.
It sure is, Dylan, as Lepeng will now be going for the safe route. And this, I think, is more important than the last one. Pierre Quiroul is going to crash out fully. Lepeng, oh no.
Ooh.
That is paying
Lepeng.
without the G.
I'm in Lepeng.
Oh, still managed to recover. 94.
Still through, so...
Yeah. Well,
94th.
Not through
Okay.
at the moment. We'll need to overtake someone else. And I imagine we may see that. Has anyone failed on that backflip? Not at the moment. Still 94th. So honestly, with only 10 seconds left, is running out of time, but is getting close to the end. I don't think there's any way, though. 5 seconds remaining. Lepeng going to be eliminated. Mart, so close to the line. It doesn't matter. It's 93rd,
Mart's just
but
in.
did get
8
across the line.
fucking players are eliminated.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that we're here. I predicted 23.
Alex, I knew I was good. I didn't know I was that good.
Yeah, it was close to your 95 players eliminated, Dylan, but, it was a couple off. I guess you did drop down to 8 at the end, but no, I think I'll stick with your 95 as a prediction.
Sure, you're always looking for ways to belittle me anyway.
That's
Watching
true.
Black Pulse now as we come into round 3. Another 8 players will be eliminated at the end of this round too. It looks like we could really need it because the server does genuinely seem to be straining a little bit. Alex, you were kind of having issues just with your own kind of spectating. We're hearing reports in the Twitch chat that people are having frame rate issues. Maybe they just need to upgrade their PC. Maybe the server's struggling. We don't know.
I feel like that's a split problem, not a server problem, I'll be honest. Unless
I
you
would
somehow,
never put the blame on a chatter.
Unless Split is playing with cars on, in which case you deserve whatever comes your way when there's 100 cars on the server. Vortex, nearly falls into the gutter. Mokura and a couple of other players did fall into the gutter, but that'll be Vortex climbing a long way up the leaderboard. We do have Shumi currently playing on the leaderboard, not driving for anyone in F1 at the moment, and should be cleanly up, is cleanly up, well clear. Mokura we did see struggling a little ways down, but should be, again, kind of clear of that bottom at the moment. It's just making it through that middle section. For example, Bidebuster, not making it through the middle section, in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, it looks like Bides aren't the only thing getting busted tonight because
Well,
Bide Busters' chances are getting busted too.
Nailed it.
Made it through the gutter though.
Well done, Dylan.
Just like that joke made it through the gutter of bad jokes.
Yeah, good. That's impressive.
We're here to commentate tonight, folks.
Ooh, Bide's going to crash on out. Goliath, who's had some good weeks in the recent past, is potentially getting eliminated here. Unless there's anyone else who's making mistakes, no. Goliath, in 85th place, is going to drop out of the competition. Bide drops Roman, Mentos, and a couple of other players as well. A few more rounds of 8 eliminations to go. Up at the top, just to check in, Scandir continues to improve his time and is still 4/10 clear of anyone, but Worker has closed the gap to near 4/10. And Raceland did say that he kind of reckoned that, you know, best times or a good time during rounds was going to be a 105, but that was going to be pretty hard because you needed a good clean run. But I don't know if Raceland counted on, you know, Scandir Worker showing up tonight and just banging in very good
Chipping
consistent
away
runs.
at it.
Yeah.
We've already got some 104s in there. Could go even lower as we get further on. We're still in early days. It's going to be a long edition tonight because we had so many players, and that kind of extra rounds added on top does mean we're going to see more opportunities for our kind of most skilled competitors to drive that time down.
Yeah. Now, Dylan, if I were to ask you now, based on our current top 5, which one is going to get eliminated first? What's your prediction? It's Scandir, Worker, Tunix, Heave, and Mimo Jr.
Oh, it's got to be Mimo.
Gotta be Mimo.
If it was Mimo Senior, I could see them sticking it out, but Junior, he just doesn't have what his dad did.
Yeah, and it'll be tough. I mean, Mimo is also a very all of the top 5 are incredibly good players at the moment. It is, I can't stress this enough,
I had to
a
pick
very
one.
stacked week. Okay,
Yeah.
may not be stacked with the Irish for much longer. Babs is struggling a little bit right now, but has made it through that middle section of the track. This end, I think the issue is players have got it down, right? This next following donut, for example, is going to be a decider in very close rounds, I think. And the end as well. We haven't talked about too much. There's definitely no real risky fin, but there is a risky line through this finish. Again, kind of reminiscent of a TMGL map where specifically... Oh, what was the one? Slowdown in stage 1 this year, where you were kind of going over the hills. It was all about keeping traction a little bit. This is a less punishing version of that, but there is a way to get through this as fast as possible, and it's by risking, especially with that final jump.
Yeah.
Branko eliminated and Babs eliminated. It's goddamn brutal out here this week.
We're also seeing Thiffel has been eliminated. Thiffel was a first-time player this evening. We salute you, Thiffel.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Thiffel, who, hey, honestly, like, a rough week to come in, and a stacked week, a difficult map, and survived, 3 or 4 rounds, which is, nearly 20 eliminations already. And apparently Babs' son is crying, and, it's just, it's
yeah,
tough
you rigged it. You jinxed Babs. Babs was doing really well. I noticed.
Listen, that's what he gets for not organising a Cup of the Day podcast for me to be on this week. No, I'm okay with a week off. Sometimes I just want to go and fall asleep early. It's beautiful. Hey, look, it's Shumi.
We love Shumi. Shumi is from France. That's where a lot of mini RPG of the week
Michael
players are
Schumacher,
from.
famously from France.
Yeah, French name and everything.
Extremely so, yeah. Absolutely no pride in his nation when he drove for F1. What do you think of the fact that Max Verstappen continues to win every race in sight, Dylan?
Good for him.
So true. So
I
true.
can relate. You know,
10 race
all I
wins in
do
a
is
row.
win. So.
Potentially unbeatable record. I mean, who's ever going to win more than 10 races in a row? It's just ridiculous. Oh, Shumi.
What's the most wins we've got on mini RPG of the week?
I believe, as I said earlier in the stream, Dylan, that it is currently a 3-way tie unless Ice or Yannick's won in the last 2 weeks between Yannick's, Ice, and Marius. All of them with 7 wins each.
7 wins.
Yeah.
One of them could get to 10.
That's true.
Yannick's, I don't know, has DNF.
I mean, basically,
round, so
both
maybe
of
not tonight, but
I feel like that's a server troll. I feel like that's a server troll, and that Yannick's finished and then pressed the circle button after the finish, and it tells us it's a DNF. I believe that's what's happened there. I don't think Yannick's is eliminated yet. I'm going to call it now. I don't believe it until it's true. But yeah, you're absolutely right that one of them could get to 10 wins, because at the moment, all 3 of them are sitting on exactly 10% the number of wins. Between the 3 of them, they have won 30% of the mini RPGs of the week. And we're going to, after season 4...
So as long as we get to 100...
After season 4, we'll be at 100 mini RPG of the week races. And if they keep up the pace, 10% of the wins is 10 races each. It'll be interesting. It's a long way to go before we get there. But Yannick's is the only one of those 3 players I believe we have actually seen in the server here tonight. So the only player with the potential to take uncontested first place as well. Sorry, all of that is a lie, because I keep getting trolled by the scoreboard where Hazard was on as both Hazardu and Hazard, and his wins were split into 2. Hazard has 8 wins. So Hazard, uncontested first.
Yannick's go home. We're talking. Yeah. It's Hazard now. Hazard's not even playing
Hazard
tonight.
Could extend the lead.
Hazard is just beating them all.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about it. I can't forget about Hazard.
And Hazard has done a good job of illustrating the hazards of not using a consistent username.
Dylan, I've told another lie, because Yannick did in fact win in week 19 of season 3, and so Yannick is also on 8 wins.
So he's still... I thought he was on... Oh, he was on 7? I thought he was on 6.
Yeah. So Hazard and Yannick both tied on 8 wins. Final answer.
Great.
You're so welcome.
This is why you come to us, guys. We get the stats right eventually for the show that we basically watch all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's all the only reason we have any stats is because Zetterite actually kept a winner's spreadsheet, and the problem is that he had Hazard wrong, and I don't want to point fingers here, but he did have Hazard wrong. That's hostile DNFing. Vortex currently sitting in a rough spot, also has the 13th best time on the server at the moment, but Zetterite did give me a
Vortex
list with Hazard split.
Great.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Split, also not doing great. You know, the Irish flag under a little bit of threat at the moment. We've said it, from here until the end, we haven't really seen many positions change hands. Especially not when there's an 8-second gap.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be much of a recovery, unfortunately, for Split or for Vortex. Manjma Mobole also eliminated in this round. Another one of kind of our sort of maybe classic mini RPG of the week players. Normally, you would expect to see do a little bit better, but that maybe speaks to the quality of players we have tonight that are kind of more usual sort of mid-range finishing players. Maybe they're being pushed back by that sort of upper class of more higher skilled players that are competing this evening.
It's also just when there's such a high number. So we're down to just 60 players. We've had 6 rounds of 8 eliminations each, right? Like
that's a lot of people gone.
It's a lot of rounds where you can just make one mistake already, you know. Normally after 6 rounds we'd be down to potentially kind of 40 players or something, and you would have had less rounds to make a mistake in. It's a long time already to have survived.
Yeah, luckily we are kind of out of these sort of harsh 8-player eliminations now, as we've dropped below 64 total players remaining. We do kind of come into our top 4, or our bottom 4 that will be eliminated at the end of everyone. Manjma Mobole in the bottom 4.
Yeah,
also was in the bottom 8 last time, so what's going on there?
It's rough out here. Flo is, gonna DNF. I was on board with Flo almost by mistake at the start of that round. I was like, I should swap to someone in the bottom 4, and may have jinxed it because Flo ended up there with a bit of rapidity after failing on that trick a few times. Ayasaka is definitely not how you pronounce that, but is currently in a little bit of trouble. We have 5 DNFs. Now, I'm going to say it again. I think a couple of these are not, in fact, DNFs. We're being trolled by the server.
Yeah.
And I'll predict it's
I think
probably
a lot of people
BMX
are finishing,
and
and it's being counted as a DNF. Yeah.
I think probably... Isaka. I think CFIL and BMX probably did actually finish, but we'll see at the end here as we cross the line. It is 55th, and I'm using air quotes on that one, even though you can't see me, for Isaka. But once we tick down to the end timer here, we will see who actually gets eliminated. It's Freeds, it's Flo, it's Isaka, and there's Bronson as well. So CFIL and BMX... getting eliminated by the server, but not getting eliminated in real life. Pause champ.
Pause champ.
Some chat.
4 players will be eliminated.
Huge. Absolutely huge. There's a long way left to go in this one, Dylan. It's a full 100-person server. It takes a hot second to get through. Jozo in the bottom 4 at the moment. Dylan has just turned off his camera and it probably dropped out of the call as well. So, hey, solo cast. Dylan is just... okay. Dylan just deciding...
I never dropped out.
No, not at all. Dylan just deciding that it was not worth his time to spend another second watching Mini RPG of the Week with me. Just like Dylan has decided it's not worth his time to play Baldur's Gate 3
Jozo's here. Jozo's here. Do you want to turn this into the Baldur's Gate podcast? This is already a train wreck.
Well, if you would simply play the game with me, Dylan.
Listen, Alex, I can't play the game with you because then who of us gets to romance all the characters? You didn't think about that. Logistics.
Yeah. Rumor has it, by the way, in Twitch chat from Split, that there is crazy rewriting going on. I'll say it. I bet CFIL is involved somehow.
I'll say it. We haven't been paying attention. We don't know about that.
We've been following the players who are getting eliminated, Dylan. All right, we'll go and look at it. My God, Mimo Jr.
I heard Worker was doing some rewriting.
Possibly. Maybe Mimo Jr. is because he's just set a 104.2. That is 6/10 than the next best time. That's stupid.
That's stupid good.
Yeah. So we'll figure out where the rewriting is going on at some point. Potentially
Maybe.
Worker is doing some rewriting as well, as you said. Lots of players complimenting each other in French. You're so right there. He's in fact easy working. The player for Easy Dream. You see? You get it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, word association.
That we would never use that as our only form of humor. I'm going to stay on board with Mimo Jr. Yeah, humor is a loose word for it, alright. Let's see where, if anywhere, Mimo is rewriting this. At the moment, everyone together. Worker in the lead, Bad Lulu in second. Bad Lulu has to be Bilingo. Has to be Lingo. There is no doubt in my mind that is Lingo. I refuse to believe that could be anyone other than Lingo.
There's no doubt in your round? Is that what you said?
I said there's no doubt in my mind.
Just for this round, you're sure?
Just for this. It could be anyone. Who knows if Lingo hands off the controller next round. I have yet to see anyone rewrite. I'm being... Oh, wait a second. Worker, where did you come from, buddy?
Where's Worker come...
Sus.
I'd heard reports Worker was rewriting.
I think Worker's just DNF'd.
See what Worker's up to.
Well, it'll be difficult if Worker is just DNF'd. It's going to be tough if Worker's just DNF'd. Well... Worker's current... I can't click on Worker's name. I think Worker is DNF'd.
I think Worker has been banished from the server for rerouting.
Yeah, well, that's...
We want a good clean map tonight, folks. No
Gandir, meanwhile, has set a 104.2, which is pretty quick. RT had to settle for a full second behind in that round. Ness, our favourite Smash Bros. Character, has come in 49th. Although we'll see.
Oh, Hazard's here this evening. I didn't even notice Hazard was here.
I said Hazard was here earlier.
I don't listen
Dylan,
to
you
you.
gotta pay attention.
Can we see what Hazard's up to?
No, you know what? No, you don't deserve it.
Can we see what Worker's up to?
We can't because Worker got eliminated in the last round.
Oh, well.
Well, I suppose that's the end of tonight then. What's the point anymore?
Okay, that's the end of the stream, guys. Who wins? Who gives a shit? Bye.
It does mean that your prediction of Mimo Jr. was going to be the first player eliminated from our top 5 earlier. Just wrong. Just straight up wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he's living up to his father's shoes. What can I say? I'm proud, if nothing else.
You know that is why Carl Jr., a player you've definitely heard of, is called Carl Jr.?
Yeah, because his dad is called Carl as well.
No, but it is because one of the first world champions, one of the first great players of Trackmania in like the early 2000s did go by the name Carl. And so Carl Jr. started playing a few years later and so called himself Carl Jr. and then became, you know, the best Trackmania competitive player of all time.
And he was the son of the original Carl.
It's true.
You didn't know?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I did. For sure.
Oh, you did know. Okay, cool.
But it was more of like a
Is anyone-
platonic
is anyone
father-son
doing the reboot?
relationship.
If anyone is doing the reroute, if you can please advertise yourself somehow to us, we'd like to see
Let
it.
us know, yeah, it'd be dope.
We'd like to. Let's talk
can
about the map
someone-
now.
can
They're going
someone
over this
ban
donut
this?
bit. What are your thoughts on donuts,
Oh.
Alex?
How do I? Oh, here we go. Goodbye, cranky
Oh, it's
thumb.
not Harry.
I hardly know.
This may quite possibly be the worst mini RPG of the week stream ever.
I'll be honest. This is I think the exact energy that myself and Twiggy's unofficial Trackmania World Tour stream is going to have this weekend. Like the fact that we're not doing it on the official channel, and this is pretty much approaching what we do on the official channel anyway. I can't see it being very different.
Yeah, it can only get worse.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let's jump on board with C-Phil. I mean, obviously we got it right the first time we guessed.
If anyone's rerouting.
Yeah, no, chat has confirmed it is C-Phil who's rewriting. So, you know,
Alex, I think we may actually be receiving hate in chat. A message has been deleted by a moderator.
I was the moderator, and it was not hate. It was actually the opposite of hate. It was someone who thinks that we're so good, though we deserve promotion of the channel, including viewers, followers, views, and chatbots. Oh, hey, here's the rewrite. Oh dear. Oh, it's nonsense. Oh,
Poor
it's not worked
C-Phil's
this
got
time.
it.
Oh, the nice upside down.
Oh,
C-Phil has been on a goddamn mission to break maps with kind of really interesting rewrites for rounds as well, right? Because that drop down seems kind of difficult. It don't seem all that consistent. I would argue like just about rounds viable. Not sitting with the best
I feel
possible
like-
time to server. Struggling for speed at the moment as well. I'll be honest. I don't know about this one, Chief.
I'm trying to remember. I think I saw one of the previous C-Phil skips. That sounded like a pretty good description of that one as well.
Yeah, that's
So I
C-Phil
think
gone.
There's a
There
chance
you
that,
go.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that tracks.
C-Phil's not really here to win. C-Phil's just here to kind of fuck around.
C-Phil has found, I want to say in the last 4 or 5 weeks, 3 pretty good rewrites. Rewrites that, in terms of best time, are absolutely world record viable. In terms of viability in rounds and consistency, 1 out of the 3, I think, has kind of hit that.
Yeah.
Also, God bless the Finnish driver. Dylan, you may not know this, but Softy B is is basically the guy in charge of Trackmania esports as a whole. He makes a lot of the decisions. And we have a Finnish guy who is name changed to Softy D and is playing under the clan tag Fembi.
Fembi.
So, you know, that's
Could
fun.
mean anything.
Yeah, it could mean anything. C-Phil, I
Eddie
believe, had 2 world records on recent maps with cuts. Both of them achieved after the week finished, which
That
genuinely
makes
impressive.
sense. I mean, the sort of rounds format of mini RPG of the week, it's not the perfect format to go.
One of them was never going to be rounds viable. It required like a large side flip, landing on your roof, and unturtling perfectly in order to keep speed. Which, like, I mean, if you get it perfectly, is world record strat. But if you don't hit it, and you won't 90% of the time, you just lose. And that's kind of what happened here as well. There was a very difficult drop down there. If you hit it perfectly, potentially a world record pace. If you don't hit it, you're just out, as happened to Seafill. But interestingly, it looks like there are still a couple of players who are going for that reroute, so we will keep an eye out and see how far we get with players like that still in.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye out for that. Helsinki here, still going for the safe route on whatever we're calling the little ceiling corkscrew thing.
Sure.
So still viable. Helsinki
did fail on the difficult route first, and then went for the safe route after being in last place
actually,
by six full seconds. So
is it still viable? Some would say no. Some would say pay attention.
I would say
it to me.
It is viable if you got it first time and it was your first choice. Unfortunately for Helsinki this time around, wasn't their first choice, and is going to be eliminated into the bottom four. Manjma Labole also going to be eliminated this time around.
Third time for Manjma Labole to be in the bottom four. Let's see if it sticks.
I think this time, yes. Unfortunately.
We got, who are we on with? Area? Area is one of my favorite Trackmania players.
So true.
Jomo's one of my favorite Trackmania players. Hate Neko Jim.
Where do we land on BMX 22C?
Is this what we're doing now? You're just going to take us through every player, and I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, thank you for the raid, Marius. Welcome to the Mini RPG of the Week stream, where Dylan is currently rating every Mini RPG of the Week player. How do you feel about Marius, Dylan?
Marius, one of my tops.
One of the
definitely
tops.
in like 6 out of 10.
Ooh, I would say probably 7 out of 10, given that he has 7 Mini RPG of the Week wins all time. It just makes a lot more sense.
That would put him in like the top 4 Mini RPG of the Week.
It would. One of the second most winningest players of all time in the competition. 2 of the most winning players of all time, Yannick's and Hazard, currently still in this week's competition. But maybe not for much longer. Yannick's currently sitting in the bottom 4, struggling a little bit in this round, and he's going to need to overtake someone towards the finish line. So Kratos just in front, potentially in the sight of Yannick. So that's a little bit slow from Yannick. So it needs a good end here. We'll need to try and snipe close to the line. Lost by less than a tenth. Yannick's eliminated in 33rd place, and it was close.
It's Hazard's game.
It's Hazard's game. Or potentially Skandir's game. I would like to stress that it's Hazard's game.
Hazard is not currently in the top 15, but we'll ignore that.
Yeah, and Skandir did just go another 0.2 faster over previous personal best, currently at a 104.049.
Watch out, Skandir. Here comes Hazard.
He'll be there any second now. Look, Hazard, a lot of experience in this format. The kind of pressure that pours on, just trying to stay consistent towards the end. Hazard could still do very well this week, but it is going to be a tough week. We've said that a few times now. Skandir, Maimo Jr., Bayron now up in the top. Yannick's eliminated in that last round, a little bit surprising, but we have seen Yannick's have struggle rounds before, and I think particularly on this map, we've seen the end of the map be very consistent for the vast majority of players as well. Maybe not a massive surprise that one bad round and there wasn't enough room left for Yannick's to recover. Spandex. What if we put all the players in spandex, Dylan?
Alex, come on. Come on, man.
What if, Dylan? I'm just asking questions.
On stream? Come on, man.
Well, I think I can.
Come on.
Oh, Lena Kitty.
Lena Kitty. Unfortunate.
Ooh, Skandir is only just in front.
You can be a kitty, but it doesn't mean you can do well in round.
Yeah, finish the thought, Dylan. Get there.
14 of this week's episode of Mini RPG of the Week.
You're so right.
Neko Jim, though, showing that you can be a kitty, and actually, Neko Jim goes out, Lena Kitty stays in. So.
Yeah. No, you're right.
One cat got fucked over. Look, one cat-based username did not make it through. So I'm still correct.
And it was the one with the Japanese in it, so draw your own conclusions at that point about the viability of being a weeb in competitive Trackmania.
We dislike here, guys.
Yeah, all I'm saying is Scrappy is in Challenger League and not Grand League, and I don't know, maybe there's a correlation here.
I always like Scooby more anyway.
Oh, word association.
Who was your favorite of like the Scooby-Doo extended family?
I was watching Drawfee, as I do, excellent channel on YouTube. You know, they draw things, and they were talking about the Scooby-Doo extended family this week as well. From which I realized I don't know any of the Scooby-Doo extended family, except, of course, Scrappy-Doo, and then the one that they described, who they only called the stupid hick cousin. So I'm going to go with the stupid hick cousin.
Was he like the grey one?
I don't know,
He was called like Doofy-Doo or something.
Yeah, that tracks. I don't know.
Maybe he was called Scooby-Dum. He was from like that series where Shaggy was always wearing that red shirt. You remember that one?
No.
I think it was the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. I don't know.
Sure. Hey, Sidzer got eliminated this round. Lena Kitty having a little bit of problems going over this backflip as well, but is still not in front of everyone anymore, but will be sitting 24th.
Caster Curse.
Yeah, well, Edixot and Seko are going to be sitting behind. 2 players DNF'd, although we'll see if Sidzer is actually eliminated or if that just a little bit of a DNF. We'll hold. It's a chance. It might not be, but hey, Scoreboard's trolled us before. Seko! Oh.
You can do it, Seko. Okay.
Understandable. You know what? You gotta respect it. Sidzer will be eliminated as well. Yeah, I do love the just. Well,
Helicots.
I didn't make the finish. I'll just drive off
I'll
the
kill
edge.
myself.
Guess I'll die. It's a
for
great question. Why don't the players simply drive the fastest? I would question you, Split, on that one. Why you named yourself Split? You know, famously something that you get at each checkpoint.
I would question, why didn't you drive the fastest?
Yeah, you know, was the fastest Irish player tonight.
You got eliminated, buddy.
Was the fastest Irish player tonight, okay? Now, did Babs lose horrifically very early on? Yes. But, hey, who's counting? Me. Obviously, I'm counting.
Never mind that. It's time for a Jaxie update. Jaxie has made it home.
Not even killed.
Huge Jaxie moment.
Massive. The person with the flashlight was just looking for mushrooms. You love to see it.
We were paying attention. Here's the lore update, Jaxie. We know you love it. That person looking for the mushrooms, they were actually looking for a portal to Trackmania World, where they could have been in Trackmania World. And if you had helped them, you could be here too. But now you just have to be at home and sad. You'll never visit the real world of Trackmania that exists in a portal in the forest near your house. And it's closed now. It was only open for a short amount of time. So get fucked.
Thank you, Dylan, for that lore update. That's massive. Hey, I think this may be it for Lena Kitty, who's been on the edge for a few rounds now, but will drop out in 22nd place, joined by Gonta, Makara, and Jozo. So Makara and Jozo will get eliminated in this round. 2 pretty solid players. There are some very good players who we have not really seen make appearances in the bottom 4, and I do want to call out Maimo Jr., Scandir, and Heave. Liker as well.
Yeah.
Most of them with times in the top 5. Hazard, we also haven't really seen in the bottom 5 or bottom 4 at any point in a while.
Not really in the top, but not really in the bottom as well. Hazard has kind of consistently been just kind of dodging visibility.
Yeah, and this will be, well, a bloodbath of a round, because there are a lot of very good players left. We have 20 players remaining on the server, and this is the last round of 4 eliminations. So it's a tough one.
We're about to get rid of 20%. of our players that are still left.
Massive. Yeah. Hey, speaking of Hazard,
here
he is in the bottom 4, immediately back up in 14.
And now he's here.
But look at it. Tunix as well in the bottom 4. He's not going to be able to make it over the engine off block as well. So losing more time as well through this section. And we're seeing a lot more players make it a bit more cleanly through the map up until this point. It is starting to get closer. It is starting to be a little bit more difficult to keep your spot in this competition at this point. Uso is through and he's going to go for the risky strat. We saw a couple of players going for the safe one. So Uso should be safe now going through the checkpoint only into 16 16th place, but keep an eye, Lupito just behind as well. Tunix has climbed back up as well. Maxime is right alongside too. It's going to be a tight finish. Dylan, it's finally time for the finish to matter because it's been so close a couple of times. It did matter to Yannick, who nearly managed to snipe at it as well. Lupito sitting just outside 16th place, just inside 16th place. Maxime has made the mistake and has fallen down the leaderboard. Area eliminated in 17. And it's Maxime who made the big mistake and drops out in 20th. That we said it was going to be a bloodbath. I'd say it delivered.
I think so, yeah.
Got that. It's a good week. Oh, we are going to have such
a good week.
Top 10.
We're going to have it. I mean, I feel like the main thing kind of about the top 10 that are starting to shape up now is kind of, as you were saying, none of them we've even really seen in the bottom before, like, or the bottom even say half of our cohort tonight. They have consistently been kind of just nailing this map over and over again, which means as we now kind of get into our final rounds, they've gotten pretty good at this, which means we are going to see some tight competitions. Absolutely.
And again, Hazard is such a dark horse here at the moment. Has won the most mini RPG of the week, tied with Yannick's on 8. Has the 17th best time on the server at the moment. Got it in the last round. Hasn't even cracked a 106. And the current best time on the server, a 104 by Scandir. But there's a couple of players who've made big mistakes on that round. Choco, just gone. Has given up on this round. BNX, a long way down. But so Crado, also going backwards. Going for a rewrite as well. Oh no! Has gone crashing out of the map. We'll see how important that is. Surely will not be able to save enough time between now and the end of the map, but it's up to BMX to make it stick, to get to the end cleanly. That's a good version of the hard route just there, and will still be up into 13th place. Corzo managing to fail the first time around is now potentially at risk, as Socrato is through the difficult section that it was. They're coming at this from now very different angles. This is where they regain. Corzo's in front. That's where the cars come back together. And you're looking at Socrato, who has DNF, deciding one more fail was too much. Choco, still just vibing all the way back here. A checkpoint, I believe that's 1. And Corzo will come through in 14. We'll sit here. We'll wait out the 40 seconds that remain on our countdown timer with Choco, who's just hanging out.
Oh, Hazard is starting to climb up. Hazard, you said last time, got the 17th best time on the map. Has just pulled in the 11th best time on the map. Hazard was saving it all for the end.
It's a powerful comeback right now. As Hazard moves up to a 1 minute and 5 point something. About a 0.4 on that one. So half a second faster in that last round over his best time. Yeah, Hazard's on the push all of a sudden. Clearly is, turned off whatever he was watching on the second monitor. As we will just slowly wait this one out. The full 2 minutes elapses. Well, goodbye, Choco. Thank you for a bit of a break for the players.
Choco.
Yeah.
Hazard gets a little bit more time to slip into sicko mode.
Yeah, I mean, got to keep those fingers warm, as the server will provide a little bit of a pause of its own. The poor server. It's had to work overtime tonight as well, with a full 100 players joining this week.
That's 3 digits.
Dylan, I knew there was a reason we had you on. It's the maths that you provide. It's just flawless.
It's my maths ability.
Was that Heave? It was Heave. Clipping a wheel on the inside, going slowly. All of a sudden, Artis as well.
Yeah,
I can't click on Artis. Has
Heave and Artis both in our bottom 2 right now? Yeah. Heave is crawling his way out of it. Artis?
I think Artis DNF.
Yeah, it might be a DNF for Artis. That's got to be disappointing for him.
All right, here we go. Tunix is going to watch Bayron just fully slide out in front. The second time I'm asking, Bayron survives, but lost a lot of speed doing so and is moving very, very slowly at the moment, trying to accelerate back up speed. Will be overtaken by Liker, who's now into the safe spots, provided this is a good turtle flip, whatever you want to call it, is good. Bayron's was better, though, managing to gain back a little bit, carrying slightly more speed. The transition better for Liker, who holds onto the lead. Head to the backflip, so Liker close to the wall, slower landing. Bayron gaining again from the here to the finish. It's going to be a bit of a drag race. Liker around the outside, Bayron tighter to the inside, maybe better setup to go low on this jump. Liker lands first as the inside line. Bayron with speed, it'll come down to the finish. Bayron is there and Liker crashes. Bayron survives. And it comes down to Liker feeling like he needed to risk at the finish line. He did, and he just couldn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, unfortunate. That's going to bring us down into our top 12. there are 12 zodiac signs, and we've got 12 players left as well. So that makes you think.
Get careful now. Don't go call anyone a crab zodiac. Hey, BMX is currently sitting
crab
in
themed
last.
players left.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
What a
BMX,
round that
you could be
was,
the
though.
crab themed one.
Whew.
That was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
That is, I think, exactly sort of what Raceland was talking about in their description of the map, where they were saying, because of kind of some of the more simple or relatively easier segments of the map, we are going to see those really tight rounds where there's room for those kind of really exciting neck and neck ports, which we saw in our last round. And hopefully, as we get through kind of our next 7 rounds, which will take us to the end of the competition, we're going to see more of them.
Yeah, potentially Lupito, currently in last place, went for the safe route. The problem being that while it went cleanly, both Corzo and Skyzenard in front managed to nail it. There's a crash. Was that Pun Pun? It was Pun Pun falling back.
Yeah.
How close is everyone? Here comes BMX and Tunix,
Shit.
who's back as well. All of a sudden, this race to the finish gets exciting. Tunix behind BMX, behind Pun Pun, and it comes down to this last jump. Pun Pun cleanly through. Tunix through. Skyzenard crashed the finish line. And while there was a 3-ray race for 10th, it turned out that it was Skyzenard who makes the difference, drops to 11th as well. Meanwhile, in that round, Hazard improves by another full half a second and has the 4th best
Hazard
time
climb
on the
is
server.
coming. Hazard's climbing. Hazard's going to do it.
4 or 5 rounds ago, Hazard had not even gotten below a 106. Now below a 105. Insane improvement. The problem being that Scandir drives a 104 consistently every round. Incredibly impressive. We are now inside the top 10. And it's going to come down to possibly just good driving in the final rounds. With a map with tricks as difficult as this. Tricks that for a lot of players will be inconsistent. That's just the way it is. The trick in the middle of the map in particular, going to be inconsistent. The top players this week have found consistency, and there's maybe no surprise there because we've said it over and over. It's a stacked week.
Yeah.
Oh, Corzo's upside down.
Listen, it happens. That gutter is still doing its job, and I'm still happy to see it.
Yeah, I'm sure Corzo a little bit less happy about it, but has made the top 10 a strong performance nonetheless. Pun Pun sitting in 9th is still in 9th. No! Heave made the mistake. Heave will be falling down this leaderboard and is now hoping for a mistake in front. We'll stay on board with Pun Pun because there's nothing Heave can hope for except a mistake, and I don't think there is a mistake in front. Pun Pun in 8th, Heave 9th, Corzo in 10th, and the difference maker was that flip in the middle of the map.
Sometimes that's all it is. It's just that little kind of one technical bit, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
Blackpulse points out in the in-game chat, Liquipedia has been made. Corzo will appear on the Liquipedia page, even if he doesn't make it any further this evening. Heave and Corzo both gone.
Yeah, BMX just happy to be here at this point, you know. Look, I don't want to be
BMX
rude,
can take it.
but looking at the names here in this list, have you ever, you know that meme of like the 3 soldiers and then the clown just standing there among them? Very BMX.
There's so
score
many
right now.
applicable memes. BMX, bro thinks he's on the team. I mean,
Bro is kind of on the team, right? BMX is a mini RPG of the week winner as well, and currently has overtaken Mimo Jr., the second fastest player in the server right now, a player that has been consistently avoiding the elimination spots, currently sitting in one of those elimination spots, but Tunix very slow in front, losing a lot of speed on that engine off section, is only just in front of Mimo, is only just in front of BMX. Mimo will crash again, and all of a sudden BMX holds the spot in front of Tunix. Bayron crashed out as well. These two players are through. Bayron once again going for the hard route. Mimo Jr. has just DNF'd, is gone from the competition, which means that these are dangerous spots. Bayron is so far behind. You just need to keep it safe if you're Tunix, if you're BMX, and if you're Pun Pun, who is also, we have to say it, just about been holding on by the skin of their teeth for a little while now. Everyone cleanly through the end. Pun Pun in 6th, and Bayron and Mimo Jr. eliminated 7th, 8th. And that will be our last round of 2 eliminations, Dylan.
that's it. We're down to the ones. We've got a pretty solid top 6 tonight. I mean,
the fact that
it
Mimo's
seems
gone,
pretty obvious
though.
to be like Scandir's going to take it, but honestly,
Sure.
like, I could nearly see it going maybe not 6 ways. There's a lot of different ways this could go.
But that's number 2 and 3 on times eliminated in one round. And Mimo Jr. is 7/10 clear of Bayron, who was 3rd place and is only 2/10 behind Scandir. In terms of people who can match Scandir on pace, even close, he's now got nobody left except Hazard, who's within 7/10. Everyone else, a long way down.
Yeah. I didn't realize even for Hazard that gap is big.
It's big.
We're kind of seeing it emerge now. We're about. Ooh,
that's dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to call. I'm kind of hoping it's anyone but Scandir at this point, just to root for an underdog of some form. After Scandir has just sort of done an amazing job of just kind of running away with our map this evening, even now, kind of pulling ahead to be. Although Hazard is within 1/10 of a second.
We'll see. Could be another PB for Hazard, potentially. 2/10 behind, still a couple of checkpoints. That is going to be very close to finish. They're about to go through the finish line now. That is Hazard very close behind. It's going to be not
very
quite
close.
A PB for Hazard and Pun Pun. Meanwhile, we'll just have to watch BMX cross the line in front. BMX lives until the top 5. Pun Pun to be eliminated in 5th place.
You got a pun for Pun Pun for their elimination?
Pun Pun, I hardly know
It's not a pun.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
Dylan, we're into our top 5. There's no time to be thinking of jokes. There's only time to be watching the action. It is, I think at this point, near a who's who of mini RPG of the week winners. I think all of these players have won at some point. Although BMX may be a little bit unlikely to do so after that touch, means that they will be dropping out. I think Uso might be the only player in this top 5 who has not won a mini RPG of the week. Tunix behind BMX now, and all of a sudden BMX right back into it. We have BMX a flip to go, Dylan.
In the game, yeah. This is turning out to be as exciting as Raceland might have hoped when he was crafting this map. This corkscrew could still turn it around. Not a great one for Tunix when he really, really needed to get a good one. There's still some opportunities for him to pull ahead, but it looks like BMX might be starting to gain a little bit. Although maybe not.
Advantage. It's wide from BMX on the setup. It's going to be low. It's a low landing from BMX. Tunix jumps very long. Will be trying to risk it to the end, but again, slightly over jumping on that final one. It'll be close. It's half a second ultimately. BMX locks in a top 4. Scandir will still set a time that nobody else on the server can touch. That's a 104.084. It's nuts.
Nearly getting that like 103 there is pretty crazy.
Yeah, Scandir still with the best time on the server over 104.049, said a long time ago, and is the only person who looks close to breaking it. We'll see. Do we get a 103 before the server ends? It's unlikely, but we've seen crazier.
I don't think so.
Sure. Yeah.
So kind of as we've only got these 4 players left, we're starting to get a pretty good idea of how things are going. Really unfortunate for Uso there. That was just nearly a precision bomb.
I mean, no speed now to go over this checkpoint as well, because you have the engine off and it takes a while.
This is maybe unrecoverable for Uso, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to require someone failing at least once here on this turnaround, and I'm not convinced they will. Nope, Scandir, Hazard, and BMX all cleanly through. This is looking like BMX into the top 3, and maybe we were a little bit harsh very early on. I was very harsh very early on. BMX is a mini RPG of the week winner. I'm not making that up. No, a 2-time winner, in fact, as well.
Could be a 3-time.
Could probably potentially be a 3-time winner, but it would mean 1 win in Season 1, 1 win in Season 2, and potentially 1 win in Season 3. Scandir is driving a second and a half faster than anyone else, though. So, like...
Yeah, what do we think? Do we think Scandir might win?
Do we think that the player who's probably the best player in the Trackmania Challenger League this year, who's potentially deserves a spot in the Grand League as well, might win this week of Mini RPG of the Week? You know what? I'll go ahead and say it. It seems likely.
Is there any way to pull up what's the lowest Scandir has come in the 27 rounds we've watched, or 25 rounds we've had?
I can't imagine it's outside the top 5, though. It's been silly.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably like 3rd or something.
Yeah, it sure feels that way. And well, it comes down to this. Will Scandir make any mistakes in the final 2 rounds of competition this evening? It has been pretty much a flawless evening so far. Has been winning every round since we've really been paying attention once we got down to kind of our last 20. It has been flawless. Hazard and BMX, they're just here to try and compete at this point. Hazard, maybe the only player with a chance of touching it. BMX
Momentarily pulled ahead there.
Yeah, look, and that's a little bit slow from Zero. No, BMX! You fool!
BMX.
That was the chance. Oh, you didn't have to DNF, though. You still had a chance.
BMX
maybe.
is DNF, but Hazard is actually pulling ahead.
Ooh, hang on a second.
Now, unfortunately, this is not the final. This is the race before the final. But Hazard, you know, in a way, if he beats Skandir here, that's a little bit of a victory in itself.
Yeah.
With the performance that Skandir has put in this evening.
Yeah, all right. Well, Skandir's going to show off, I think,
he goes a little bit wide. Yeah.
Oh, it'll be close down to the finish line, though. Skandir going wide.
Oh.
What's the speed? What is that speed
Where
through the
did
finish?
he pick up that speed?
That's
what happened
nonsense.
just there?
All right, that's genuine nonsense.
This is
Whatever
crazy.
Skandir's got at the end, he has found the lines. Nobody else has them. Here we go. Hazard came from nowhere this week. That has to be stressed. We got into the top 10 nearly, and Hazard had not gotten below 106, and over the course of 3 rounds, improved by over a second. Unheard of improvements to get to the top 2 by Hazard. Skandir's been flawless all evening.
I'm not saying Hazard's going to do it, but I think Hazard could do it.
Yeah.
Like Hazard put in a really good performance last round.
Yeah.
He would need a better performance than that to somehow beat what Skandir's doing here.
Yeah. Skandir is already 3/10 in the lead. That line from Hazard is suboptimal, as Skandir will extend that lead. He's looking flawless. I mean, look, Skandir kind of, I think, probably knew that he was safe in the last round. Maybe relax a little bit, saving up the energy for this round. Has 5/10 of a lead. Is not quite flawless through there. Hazard is also, though, about the same speed. It probably won't be a world record
a little bit
from
wobbly.
Skandir in this round, but he's comfortably 8/10 ahead.
Yeah. I mean, look, what can you say? Skandir really sort of just ran away with tonight's competition. Really kind of just impressive performance, just like round on round. We often kind of talk about consistency as something key. Skandir had the fucking consistency tonight. Like, look at that.
Oh my
look at that
lord.
shit.
Skandir will lock in a first ever mini RPG of the week win. And I mean, there's maybe no real surprise. Skandir is an unbelievable mini RPG of the week player, and we'll be honest, Dylan, I think it was just a treat to watch this tonight.
Yeah. What about kind of BMX on the podium there, though? Had like a little BMW,
massive,
you know?
BMX!
Yeah.
What were you doing up there, brother?
BMX wins the swag points for this
Yeah, and it came down. Look, Skandir
as though BMX still hasn't won twice as many mini RPG of the week as Skandir. So purely in the form of testing we're doing, BMX is the more skilled player. But
BMX is a better mini RPG player than Skandir. You're absolutely right.
We all know it.
It's just
it's
the
a
fact.
well-known fact.
Yeah, I mean, look, Skandir, one of the things that obviously over in the Challenger League we have always praised him for has been the fact that he's incredibly quick, but incredibly consistent as well. That has been his defining feature this year in the Challenger League. And shows that it's not just Challenger League maps. Whips it out there on a mini RPG of the week map as well. But I do want to give credit as well to Hazard. An incredible comeback once he apparently just decided to take the map seriously once we got to a certain point. And BMX, who also displayed really good consistency. We're saying, hey, what are you doing up on the podium? But it comes down to the fact that some of the other players up in that top 10 were making mistakes. And BMX just kind of kept his nose clean right up until the end. What a week. Genuinely crazy. That was week 21 of season 3. We are only 3 more weeks until we wrap up season 3. Wild. 75 total weeks of mini RPG of the week will have been played at that point, and we are heading very quickly towards the season 3 finale as well, which will have some changes to season 1 and season 2. Plenty of people asked for them. Maybe a look at how things were run. That's all still in the works. It's all still a little bit up in the air, but I can confirm that I have been told that there will potentially be some changes in how the season 3 finale is actually going to work in response to some of the requests for change that players have been asking for as well. Yeah. So Dylan, it's going to be fun. Are you going to be there? Are you going to be watching? Are you going to be participating?
I'm excited. We sort of we just had a little bit of an announcement of an announcement. Alex has just announced that he will be announcing some changes to the rules.
It's so true. I mean,
hey, am I going to be there? Alex, I'm going to be there.
Speaking of announcements for announcements, let's just remind ourselves of. Oh, look at that! Look at how beautiful this map is.
Look at this.
Oh,
Alex made this one.
Yeah. Well, did you see this map previously?
No.
Where do we go?
Was this played in Mini RPG of the Week?
Oh yeah, this was last week's map. Oh
yeah. Must have missed that one.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, there's some scenery on this map.
Who's this guy?
Who's this guy? I know this guy.
Who's this guy?
Oh, who's this guy? What's
Hey,
going
who's
on?
this guy?
Hey, that
this guy
is
over here?
going to wrap things up for week 21 of season 3 Mini RPG of the Week. I would once again like to remind you that we are always looking for maps. At this point, we're looking for maps for season 4, and if you'd like to map for season 4 of Mini RPG of the Week, please do reach out to Zeterate, the admin. You can do that over on Discord, and you will, if you type !Discord in the chat, get that Discord link. Thank you very much to everyone who's joined us this week. Dylan, thank you for joining us again on this one. We will see everyone back next week for season 22 of Mini RPG of the Week, and have a good week up until that point.
I've been feeling just a little bit low. Got to get back to the show and we'll fly. You don't have to feel like you're on your own. No one should have to dance alone, not tonight. You